Pahrum's most watched and #1 media source for local news and weather with Deanna O'Donnell.
Welcome to News 46, your #1 source for local news. I'm Deanna O'Donnell, and this is your Week in Review. President of the Pahrump Valley Chamber of Commerce, Mike Dreyer, spoke to News 46 about how you can become a member.
The membership's really increased over the last couple of months. Like today we're here at Fran's Consignment. We have another ribbon cutting tomorrow. I think we have 2 more next week. So there's been a really good membership push in the chamber lately.
It seems that the chamber is being more proactive in businesses, getting them involved. Some of the benefits of being a chamber member.
I would say the #1 benefit that we try to provide our members is affordable advertising, either through the vision, which we put a vision out every other month. If you bring in 500 flyers for your business, we'll put them in there for $25.
And also network.
Yeah, and then also we have the website, the chamber website, which if you're a member, you're allowed to just go ahead and send a little message to us, and we'll put it out on the website to everybody that has or not the website, excuse me, the email, out to everybody that we have an email list on.
That's a wonderful thing. There's so many benefits, especially in this economy, to being connected to each other, and Pahrump really supports each other here, don't they?
We started a campaign, if you remember, in December about the Shop Local. And basically what that's about is the chamber's trying to get the local businesses to support local businesses. And from driving around and looking at all the buildings, I've seen a lot of the posters in. So I get the feeling that people are taking that to heart.
That's the stick your nose in your neighbor's business. That is a great promotion.
It was designed a few years ago, and it kind of got pushed to the wayside. But in this economic downfall, it couldn't have been at a better time to present it to the public.
So we have to tell everybody who's watching out there, how do you become a chamber member?
Well, to become a chamber member, contact the chamber, and you can contact the chamber at area code 775-727-5800. You can ask for Nancy, or you can ask for Mike Selbach, who's the CEO, or you can ask for me, Mike Dreyer. I'm the president.
At the recent chamber mixer at the Desert View Hospital, Director of Marketing James Oscarson spoke to News 46.
Well, Deanna, we're pleased to provide the facility for the chamber today. It's an opportunity we have to show off the hospital a little bit, and we've got the room and the space, and happy to have people here.
It is a lovely lobby right here. Tell me what's going on at the hospital lately.
Really, we're kind of status quo. We get busier and busier. Emergency room is busy. We're just back in the emergency room. They're just jammed. Hospital's full tonight. So everything is going very well. The campus is growing, as you can see, with the dialysis people and the Canyon Gate group that's over there. Everything's going very well for us. We have lots of interest from physicians that are in the Las Vegas area. We're constantly adding. We have the gastroenterology services here now, and adding additionals as we speak. We're talking to other physicians.
We even have a gynecologist and obstetrician office right up here on the campus.
Dr. Burnett's office is out there as well, and she does a few surgeries here, and we're grateful to have her and very pleased to have her here as well.
Some of the things that people don't know and need to know is that they don't need to go over the hill. We've got just about everything here that we need, but we're also bringing in more and more to make sure that all the services are needed here, especially for people who aren't feeling that well. It's quite a trip over the hill.
Well, the goal is always to serve the community the best way we can with as many services as we can provide for them. If we continue to do that and continue to grow like we are, hopefully we'll have even a bigger range of services available to the public here, and that's what we want to do. The goal is to expand, and provide those services. We don't want people going over the hill. We want them here.
Here's a recap on all 5 parts of our special fire safety series from this past week. We want to thank Fire Chief Scott Lewis and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue for the 5-part series on fire safety that they were kind enough to teach us. We want to go over some of the items that they actually taught us during this past week, which is number 1, exit the structure if it's on fire. Call 911 on your way out the door on a cell phone or at a neighbor's house. If you can, secure your animals in a location like a vehicle that's far enough away from the structure that they won't get injured. You can do that if it is at all possible. Make exit plans, practice them. You might be surprised of things that you learn doing that. Learn how to use a fire extinguisher. Make sure you have the right type of fire extinguisher for all types of fires. we wanted to remind you that the well goes out in times because the electricity goes out. When you have a fire, you might not be able to put out your blaze with your own water hose because a well pump will not be working at that time. Don't break windows. It only feeds the fire. Get an address on a location that the fire and rescue and paramedics can see. Bold, large letters, if you can, glow in the dark or lit letters. Get to know your neighbors. Find out if they have special needs. Remove fire and safety hazards from your home and property like overloaded outlets or weeds. Also, pull over for emergency vehicles and stop completely. If you or someone you know is experiencing fire-setting behaviors, there is programs to help them. You can call the Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue Services at 727-5658. We want to thank the Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue once again. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. Are you looking for quality goods at extremely reasonable prices? Fran's Classic Consignment cut their ribbon with the Chamber of Commerce and spoke to News 46 about their shop located off Hamahaka and Basin.
I'd like to thank you all for coming out to the Pahrump Valley Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting. We're here at Fran's Classic Consignment with the owners, John and Fran. They have a beautiful classic consignment store here, top quality consignment. Come on out and check them out, and we're just glad to have them here as a chamber member. Guys like to cut the ribbon?
Thank you. Well, we're very excited about it. Thanks to the Chamber of Commerce, this is all possible because we became members. And I just want to say a few words about my husband. If it wasn't for him, I could never do this.
This is your husband right here. How you doing, John?
Fine, how are you?
Wonderful. Tell me what the store has inside.
We have lovely, lovely things. Very gently used furniture. We only take in the best that we can find. We don't take anything with stains or rips or tears, or everything is first quality. You don't have to go to Vegas to go for quality anymore. All you do is come to Fran's Classic Consignment.
And John, if people want to consign some of their items here, how do they do that?
They can bring their items in. It's 50-50 on consignment. It runs 90 days. And when it sells, we just send them a check or give them the money.
Wonderful. And what are your hours of operation? Where are we located?
We're located at 1240 East State Street. The hours are from 10 to 4:30 in the afternoon.
Still more local news to come after this break. Keep it here.
Pahrump's most watched and #1 media source for local news and weather with Deanna O'Donnell.
And welcome back. The first Sheriff DA Forum was held at the Calvada Eye this past Sunday. Sheriff Tony DeMeo spoke to News 46 about this popular opportunity to get to know local law enforcement and procedures.
Well, it's a combination. We usually have the sheriff's forums every month. We have since I've been sheriff. We took a slight hiatus during 1 year, but we've been pretty regular with them. And the combination of this is how people get to see the DA's office. Previous DA really didn't have any appetite to come involved in the sheriff's forums, and so it's a combination that way to get to see both offices that work very closely together, involved in public safety and the community, get to answer questions that they ask.
There's open agenda. It's whatever they would like to ask you.
We can't discuss things of litigation. Can't go into personnel issues. We can know how the office operates. We can answer some questions people might have, about governance and stuff like that. And those things we can go into.
Why did we decide to have these?
Well, it was a campaign promise I had when I was running for sheriff. And the idea behind that is just have an idea what the community's thinking, have an idea what's going on in people's minds, and have them, see how the government works. I mean, law enforcement, DA's office has a direct effect on the public safety and how things are operating within government. The county commission is, same. But, it's an opportunity, like I said, for them to see how the law enforcement aspect of the public safety operates. You can call the sheriff's office, you can contact me, and I answer my own phones. But the idea behind this is in a group. It's like more like a meeting, a commission meeting with law enforcement in that respect. And like I said, we touch thousands of people's lives every month. We contact them people almost all the time, the sheriff's office and law enforcement. People should have a see on how the government works, how law enforcement operates, and how we do our job.
Why did we decide to add the DA to this?
Well, it's very important. I mean, you have to remember, like last year, around this time, well, last year, we had some issue with the DA's office. Primarily, we arrested the DA for crimes that we believe he had committed in violation of the NRSs. And there was always that chasm between the DA's office and the sheriff's office. It's kind of interesting. We used to go to the DA's office to get some information about, certain aspects of cases and request information. And the DA's office, previous to Mr. Kunze coming in, was, we have this China wall up and we can't talk to you. And we felt that was doing disservice to the community and pretty much to law enforcement and public safety in itself. Brian has done a lot of things to take out that China wall, so to speak. And gave us an opportunity to work closer together. And it's very important that we do that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Deanna. And we'll have another one in March. We don't know if we'll have the sheriff DA form, but we'll see how it works out.
We'll let the public know when that is.
Yes, we will.
Thank you. A hearing held in Las Vegas last Monday was a point of interest. It was regarding the town of Pahrump taking over the county-run Regional Planning Commission. Town manager Bill Kohlbarger spoke to News 46 to give us an update.
155, and what it does is gives any unincorporated town of overpopulation of 24,000 the right to be treated as a city when it comes to planning and zoning and to take over and be responsible for planning and zoning within their jurisdiction.
And Harley Calkin brought this up when he was just a regular citizen, not on the town board. What's the reason that we want to do this?
Well, Mr. Calkin felt that it was the time for the town to take over its own backyard and to monitor its own backyard. Right now, the reason it came about, again, Mr. Calkin said that we have 2 county commissioners that live in the northern district that are 240 miles away, and they help to oversee what's going on in planning and zoning in the town of Pahrump, and within the county, the only place that has planning and zoning is the town of Pahrump. Therefore, the town of Pahrump should control it.
And because planning and zoning is normally ran by the county, so what happened at the meeting on Monday?
Mrs. Parker, Mr. Calkin, both town board members, and myself testified in front of the Senate Government Affairs Committee as to why we thought this was a good bill. Mrs. Easley, Commissioner Easley, and Commissioner Schimhofer, I pronounced his name wrong. Sorry, Dan.
Schimhofen.
Thank you. Commissioner Schimhofen testified neutral. They just stated, well, we're going to have to do this, we're going to have to do this. The county specifically stated on the record they weren't going to give us any money to help us with this project, which we knew. And that's why we wanted to approach the Senate Government Affairs Committee about tweaking the bill with putting some financial terms in it. But right now, Senator McGinnis is taking the bill. He's contacting, at the request of Senator Lee, who is the chairman for the Senate Government Affairs Committee, he's going to contact the Clark County lobbyists. He's going to see what their issue was, and he's going to tweak the bill to get around, or not get around, I guess that's a poor choice of words, to deal with Clark County's concerns and still make it viable for any unincorporated town pursuant to NRS 269 to be treated as a city. We are the only unincorporated town that was created under 269 with elected officials from the citizens. The 3 that the county in Clark County have are basically like Gabbs and Tonopah and Amargosa. They're advisory boards to the county commission, report to the county commission, and have really no oversight.
So Clark County testified against us because they're concerned that this might set a precedent. Why?
Because it will open up planning and zoning to everybody else in Clark County, and they don't want that to happen. They want one jurisdiction handling all the planning and zoning that's in the county. That's not in Henderson, because Henderson handles their own, North Las Vegas handles their own, Boulder City handles their own, Vegas, and and Mesquite. The Clark County has a lot of property, and they don't want their little small unincorporated, and they're townships, to have planning and zoning rights. So again, Senator McGinnis advised that after listening to Senator Lee and listening to the hearings that he would contact the Clark County lobbyists and tweak it to where it doesn't affect Clark County.
A non-injury 3-vehicle accident occurred on Highway 160 this past week. A 3-vehicle accident last night right before 6 p.m. in front of McDonald's on Highway 160 prompted Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, Nye County Sheriff's deputies to the scene, which appears to be a non-injury accident at this point. All occupants declined medical on scene. Nevada Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of this accident. This is Deanna O'Donnell on Highway 160 for News 46. Nye County Sheriffs are investigating the cause of a two-vehicle T-bone collision last week, which required 2 occupants to be transported to the hospital. Right before 1:30 this afternoon, a 2-vehicle injury accident here on Highway 160 and Basin. Nye County Sheriff's deputies arrived on scene with Front Valley Fire and Rescue. We're going to speak to Fire Chief Scott Lewis.
Yes, early this afternoon we were dispatched for a report of an injury accident. Upon arrival at Highway 160 and Basin, we found a 2-car collision. It was a T-bone type collision. We found that 2 were medically unable to extricate from the vehicle on their own. So we completed that process and have removed those patients to the local hospital.
And they were transported locally here?
Yes. Medics 1 and 2 arrived on location, took over patient care, and then subsequently transported them from the scene.
We have Engine 1. What else do we have on scene?
Command vehicle as well as Engine 1's on a location today. We didn't actually have to use extrication tools because it was a medical necessity rather than a mechanical. But everything went well here today. Now it's just a matter of controlling the scene, absorbing some of the resulting liquids that are from the vehicles.
Nye County Sheriff's deputies are taking over the investigation. The road was blocked temporarily in all directions by the Nye County Sheriff's auxiliaries who controlled the traffic flow. This is Deanna O'Donnell on Highway 160 and Basin for News 46. Still more local news to come after this break. Stay with us.
Pahrum's most watched and #1 media source for local news and weather with Deanna O'Donnell.
Welcome back. The new reenactment group, the Waterstone Bunch, had their ribbon cutting at the Pahrump Chamber of Commerce. The group presented in full costume and was introduced by Chamber President Mike Dreyer. Let's take a look.
I'd like to welcome all of you for coming out today to another ribbon cutting for the Pahrump Valley Chamber. Today we've got a new group joining the Chamber. It's the Waterstone Bunch, and they do reenactments of period reenactments. So at this time, would you please cut the ribbon?
Cut straight now, honey.
I sure will.
There we go.
I'm Doug Shaw. My alias is Charlie Siringo.
And I'm Susan Zink, and I'm Laura Lee Lilly, Miss Pepper, and also Minor Millie.
And I'm Dave Stout, also known as Deadwood Dave, or some call me Slim.
I'm Roberta Bach, and I'm known as Granny.
And I'm Joe Hendricks. I'm known as Sheriff Hawkeye Joe, sometimes Tex.
The Waterstone Bunch, our objective is to do some reenactments of things that actually happened in the 1800s and maybe do some performances of things that might have happened the way we might have seen it happen.
Well, we're going to be wanting to do a lot more competitions and living history, which is of interest to most of us.
And don't forget the encampments. We like doing encampments too. There's competition for that. Most people don't know that. But when you go to a competition, you see the different groups set up with an encampment. It's kind of fun to learn about what life was like living, you know, with the tent cities, etc.
Well, we don't have a fixed venue as we've had in the past, so we'll be performing in all different locations. Our next event really is going to be the Cowboy Spring Fling thing with the Arts Council. We'll be there participating in their fashion show.
The Waterstone Group will be at the Spring Fling Cowboy thing this Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Pahrump Nugget. For more information about the Waterstone Bunch, you can call Doug Shaw at 764-8004. Superintendent Dr. Rob Roberts is asking you, the public, for your help in contacting your legislature.
In 2006-07, the voters of Nye County School District, Nye County, approved a bond issue. And the way the question was listed to the voters was that the purpose of these bonds were to build, rebuild, renovate, schools, equipment for education, those kinds of things, not to be used for operational expenses. And as such, we were told at the time that the bonds would be worth between $100 and $125 million. Thus, you sell bonds to build your construction projects. We have currently a remodel. We have a replacement school going on in the north part of town for the old Mance, and as we redistrict to assign students across the valley, we built Floyd Elementary School with those bonds. The high school program going on right now for remediation is about $28 million. And the way you pay for all those is through your debt service fund. That's how you pay your mortgage. And since this discussion with the governor's staff and the budget, I believe it's Price and Moody has lowered the bond rating for Clark County from a AA to a AA minus. Well, what that means is that it's like you with your credit score. If you have a lower credit score, you're going to pay more for interest on a loan. So by lowering your credit rating, which they have for them, and they're the largest district in the state, I don't think that the rest of us will be far behind in having our credit rating affected as well. So what does that mean? When we go out to sell more bonds, should we get to that point, then we will pay more in interest, and it would cost us more to finance those over 20 years. If the governor's budget, which contains taking half of our debt service funds, which is about $8 million, we might not be able to pay our debt. So what happens then? You then have to refinance your debt for another possibly 10 years to pay off the bonds that you have. So what does that mean to the taxpayer? It means what would have been paid off, now you're going to extend that note for 10 years and you're not going to get anything for it. The interest is going to cost more and you're going to pay longer. Now, Mr. Rissy would be able to probably explain it to you in a lot more accountant ease, but that's how I understand it. So once again, I'm asked that you, as you contact your legislatures, to ask them not to take the bond or debt service monies that we put aside to pay our bills.
There was a big impromptu announcement made at the Nye County School District Board meeting this past week. The school district held their board meeting last night. The items that appeared to be of most interest were the rezoning of the Prump schools after the projected upcoming closure of Mount Charleston Elementary School. Some questions as to Hafen Elementary taking 25 more students than originally thought pushed this item to be placed on the agenda on the upcoming March 21st board meeting. The request for a public hearing to be held regarding the possible closure of Amargosa School was taken off the agenda last night, pending an Area 2 trustee to be appointed because of where Amargosa falls in the district. The item regarding setting a hearing for the closure of Mount Charleston Elementary was postponed until the March 21st board meeting as well. The biggest upset last night was an impromptu speech made by Superintendent Dr. Rob Roberts, who announced his upcoming resignation this summer to a full gallery of people who anxiously listened to hear why we would be saying goodbye to a man who has led our district for almost 10 years.
Now a little sad note, I'd like to tell you that I'm going to retire this summer. I've been in the district almost a decade, 9 years as a superintendent. In my 9 years, there are 17 counties in Nevada, and there have been 40 superintendents. Almost every district's turned over 3 times, and I think it's time that I do something a little different, get reacquainted with my wife and family perhaps, for the number of days that I'm on the road or gone. I estimate I've driven 180,000 miles in the last 9 years, and lots of other things. But it's been my pleasure and honor to serve as superintendent of Nye County School District, certainly the highlight of my career. But this coming June, I think I have no plans to leave the community at this time, and I'll certainly be around to assist the school and do what I can to help the district. But anyway, I just wanted you all to know that.
A formal goodbye to Dr. Roberts is expected in the near future. No word as to who will take the helm at this point. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. The Nye County Sheriff's is requesting your help in locating a suspect who is still at large. On February 11th of this year, Nye County Sheriff's deputies Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue responded to a vicious attack on a 20-year-old woman at Highway 372 in Blag, where a large rock was thrown through the front windshield of her van. We're going to speak to Detective Mike Eisenloffel from Nye County Sheriff's to give you an update on the last suspect that is still at large.
Deputies responded to the scene of Highway 372 in Red Butte after a report that someone had thrown a rather large rock through the windshield of a passing van. And in the process of that incident, a 20-year-old passenger was severely injured and subsequently taken to UMC for treatment.
I know we had a helicopter land on scene there. She was suffering some head trauma. she's since been released?
That's what my understanding is, yes.
How's she doing?
I cannot release that information. It's medical information that we need to keep confident.
And tell me, the other two suspects, Hanahan and Hannah, have been taken into custody. They went to court. What's the result of that right now?
Yes, both of them were arrested and taken into custody. Tim Hanahan, who was the driver of the getaway vehicle, is still in custody at this point and is being charged with aiding and abetting in the crime. Kevin Hanna was one of the passengers who was also arrested initially but has since been released with no charges filed.
And we still have David Neal Taylor out there. He is the main perpetrator?
Yes, he's alleged to have thrown the rock, causing the severe injuries to the victim.
Do we know why this happened?
All I can say at this point is that this was an act of revenge on an incident that happened previous to this and related or involved all the individuals in this case.
Were they together, the female that was the victim of this and David Neal Taylor? What's their relationship?
I cannot release that at this point, but there is a relationship there and an incident that occurred between them that sparked this unfortunate, tragic event.
I know that we're looking at different leads right now, anonymous leads. Mm-hmm. We know where David Neal Taylor lives because he was actually the person that was the next door neighbor of the fire victims on Prospector. Yep. What are we searching for? Do we think he's still in town? Do we think he's in Nevada? Where do we think he's at?
Yes, I believe he is in town. We're following up on several leads, receiving leads on a daily basis almost. But to this point, he has not yet surfaced. A warrant has been issued for his arrest, and he is well aware of the fact that he's wanted. It's just a matter of him making the right decision at this point.
And he's wanted for attempted murder.
Correct. Just pass the message on. If you do see David Neal Taylor, contact the sheriff's office as soon as possible and let us know where he's at so we can bring him into custody and bring justice to the victim.
Once again, 20-year-old Stacey Ann Johnson was released with head injuries from UMC Trauma Center. She is at home recovering. David Neal Taylor, age 23, is still at large. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you're urged to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Department at 751-7000. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. More news to come after this break. Keep it here.
Pahrum's most watched and #1 media source for local news and weather with Deanna O'Donnell.
The Icing on Top Bake Shop had their ribbon cutting Wednesday with the Pahrump Chamber of Commerce. Whitney Smith reports.
It seems like the key to success is doing something that you love. We spoke to Misty Hibden today about her ribbon cutting on Icing on the Top Bake Shop located here on Postal Road.
I would like to thank everybody for coming out to this grand opening and ribbon cutting of Icing on Top Bake Shop. I'm here with the owner, Misty Hibden, and her daughter, Kendall, who's going to be doing the honors today. So once again, thank you all for coming, and you can go ahead now. Go ahead.
We do cupcakes is kind of our niche. Lots of specialty gourmet cupcakes. We do bars, brownies, blondies, magic cookie bars, all kinds of cookies. We offer a pretty good selection of breakfast items too. Cinnamon rolls have become quite the addiction around this town. People come in just for them. We have banana pudding, coffee cakes, breakfast buns, all kinds of stuff. Anything you could think of. Cheesecakes we do also. We offer coffee and hot chocolate, teas, hot teas, all kinds of like water, Coke, all that kind of stuff, soda. We do special order cupcakes. I've done quite a few of those decorated for birthday parties and things like that. We also do cupcake cakes, which you put all the cupcakes together and make a nice special cake. We do cakes, we do wedding cakes. We do all special order pies also. A lot of people call me and say, hey, my grandma made this kind of recipe, can you do it for us? And we try to fill that need for the community. It's everything, baby showers. I'm doing a baby bump cake this weekend for a baby shower, so that'll be good.
And what made you want to open a bakery?
I've always baked, been a baker, never a cook. My husband's a cooker. But I've always baked and I always loved it. I took a trip to New York quite a few years ago with a group of girlfriends from high school, which we all went to high school out here. And went to a bunch of their neighborhood bakeries, and I thought they were just the neatest thing, and I thought we really needed one here. We need a couple in Vegas too, but we don't really have those. So I thought Pahrump is my hometown, so I'd have one here. And we do construction, and we got slow. My husband doesn't need me in the office anymore, so he said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "It would be awesome if I could do what I enjoy doing and bake all day. That would be just so." We decided to open it. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Saturdays 9 to 5, and we're not open Sundays. But on Fridays and Saturdays, we're gonna start extending our hours till 7, so people can stop by on their date nights for a nice little treat after dinner.
And where are you located at?
We're at 1141 South Highway 160. We're on the corner of Postal Road and Highway 160.
Do you have any kind of contact information, website?
Yes, www.icingontopbakeshop.com.
A phone number?
751-2200.
Come to Icing on Top Bake Shop.
Tickets are now available for the Helping Hands for Jesus concert. News 46 spoke to Desiree Collins at Cup of Faith to get all the details.
We are sponsoring a benefit concert for Helping Hands for Jesus. Richard Fenton is trying to get a rehab facility built here in Pahrump. It's for all the broken and lost people in our community, which we seem to have quite a few of those. We have Phil Stacy coming. He's from American Idol Season 6. We also have Hector Rodriguez. He's going to be playing as well. He's formerly was a pastor in Las Vegas and recently signed a recording contract. Wonderful. We also have For His Grace from the First Southern Baptist Church out on 160. They're going to be opening. We have from not Faith Fellowship, Shadow Mountain Fellowship. We have 2 young girls that are going to be singing some original music as well.
Wow. This is going to be really great, and this is all going to be at Rosemary Clark Middle School. I know we have some time to buy tickets, but where can we get tickets?
The tickets are on sale at Ace Hardware, Homestead Cafe. They're also at Shadow Mountain Feed and the Party Store. And, of course, they can buy them here at Cup of Faith. If they're interested in family 4-packs, discounted tickets, they need to come here to Cup of Faith to get them.
And this is all going to be coming up on what date?
It's May 14th, and I realize that's still a month and a half away, 2 months away, but there's only 1,200 seats available, and we've already contacted several of the churches, and they're letting their congregations buy tickets, so if you're interested in getting tickets, I would get them as soon as possible.
Exactly. How much are they?
The bleacher seats are $10, and then there'll be seating set up on the floor in front of the stage, and those are $15. Family 4-packs will get a $10 discount off the total price of 4 tickets.
Can people donate to Helping Hands for Jesus all the time, though, anyways, even if they don't go to this concert?
Absolutely. We have a jar on our counter here. The saying on the front of it says, "Your change could change a life." You can drop anything off here at the store, small items. I don't want any furniture or anything like that. I don't have anywhere to store it. But if someone has furniture that they'd like to donate, they can contact me here at the store. The number is 751-0407. I will get in touch with Richard and get them together, and they can arrange for a pickup.
So the Helping Hands for Jesus, the facility that we're talking about, do we have land already that we're thinking about putting this on?
He has looked at several plots of land. He's been to the board meeting for the town as well as the county commissioners, and he's asked them to help him out. There is a Nevada state statute that states that for a community project like this, the county has the ability to either lease him the land at $1 a year, or they can actually just donate it to him for this facility. So he's still working on that.
And this would be a location where we would have a garden and tents or cabins. What are they?
Well, they're looking at a completely energy efficient community. They're talking about 10 log cabins. I'm sorry, they're talking about 100 log cabins. They'll all be solar and wind powered. There'll be gardens. It's going to be a facility that's got a buffer zone, so to speak. He's looking for about 40 acres. It's all going to be fenced, and it's a rehab facility. It's for people on drugs, alcohol, people with gambling problems, the homeless that just need to be retrained.
The Pahrump Community Library played host to the state of Nevada's Office of the Governor Consumer Health Assistance. They made themselves available to answer questions and concerns from the public regarding health care.
We're here visiting Pahrump to provide information to the community. Our function as a state agency is to provide information to consumers regarding the healthcare issues. Some of the services we provide is advocacy, providing information and education on insurance plans, workers' comp issues, any issue related to healthcare that a consumer needs assistance with in resolving. If they're unable to resolve that issue, we're able to intervene on their behalf to try and resolve that for them.
Is this for public and private insurance companies as well as cash paid?
It's for any consumer in Nevada who's having problems with, for example, insurance companies, or if they're having claims issues with their workers' comp, or issues with their business insurance. If they need some assistance with that, we're able to intervene. So it's the community at large.
How many times have you guys been here before?
This is actually our first visit. We're in the midst of a rural tour. We've gone through some of the communities in Southern Nevada, and this is our final stop, and we expect to come here more often. We're going to make more frequent visits to Pahrump because there is a need out here for a lot of the services.
Yeah, especially because we're kind of an isolated community.
Exactly, precisely for that reason. The reason that we're hitting all the rural communities is because the resources are limited, so we're doing our best to try and spread the word about what is available and what we can do on their behalf as well, should they run into any problems, those consumers.
I know that you organized this. You also invited some other organizations out here.
Sure. We invited members of the AARP. We've got the Senior Medicare Patrol Program here, and we've got members from SHIP who help out with Medicare issues as well. So, they've been great partners with us. We partnered with them this year, and we've got more agencies and more organizations coming in. So we're growing. And as that happens, we're going to throw more events. We'll be going to towns more frequently and bringing everybody along with us.
What's some of the most concerns that you hear from consumers?
A lot of the concerns have to do with denials, either of workers' comp claims. There's billing issues. The primary is the billing issue. We've got issues where there's hospital or provider billing issues that the consumers are questioning. They're not sure if they're being billed correctly. So what they do is contact our office, and what we do is we'll go in there and audit that bill, or we'll discuss the issue with the hospitals or the provider to determine the legitimacy of all the charges that are on there. And once we've resolved that, then we report back to the consumer. It's either in the positive or negative. If we're able to negotiate something for them to pay back that bill, should it come to that, we can do that as well.
This is a great program. What is it funded by?
We've got several funding sources. Currently, we were approved by the Healthcare Reform Act. We've got funding from that. That's going to help our agency grow. We get funding from Medicaid. We get funding from the DIR, from the Division of Industrial Relations, for the workers' comp portion of it. So there are just several sources. We're at, you can contact us at 702-486-3854. That's my direct line, or 702-486-3587. Or get on the website at govcha.state.nv.us.
Consumer health assistance will be at the Healthcare Forum at the Pahrump Nugget on March 16th. And make sure to stay tuned to News 46 in the coming days for more healthcare organization information. Valley Electric Association is helping 6 local residents get an education. They are awarding a total of 6 scholarships to members in their service area. Scholarships include 2 full-time vocational, technical, and 2 part-time continuing education. News 46 spoke to Linda Cass to get all the details. Well, you only have a week to apply for this scholarship, but it's relatively easy if you're a senior in high school or if you are a continuing student of any age. There is several scholarships available. We're going to speak to Linda Cass from Valley Electric Association about how you can get these scholarships.
Oh, Deanna, we do, and this is a wonderful thing. We have 6 scholarships annually. We have 2 full-time academics. That is open to qualified high school seniors. We have 2 full-time vocational technical scholarships open to anybody in the membership, and also 2 part-time continuing education scholarships also open to the entire membership.
There's only a short time between now and the deadline for the applications, though. How can a person get an application? What's the deadline?
The deadline is Friday, close of business, March the 11th. But there are applications, electronic applications available on the website. That's vea.coop. They're interactive. You can go right to the website and fill it out and email it. It comes directly to me.
What are some of the requirements?
Well, let's see, I think we have 3 requirements at this point. One is you must be a Valley Electric Association member, or you must have a guardian who is a Valley Electric Association member. There You have to fill out the application with 2 essay questions. The first one is a 100-word essay, and it is your goals, a statement of goals. And then the second is a 500 to 1,000-word essay about energy efficiency.
Wonderful. That is so great. What's the age groups for this?
Okay. The full-time academic scholarship, the 4-year, and I failed to mention that it's $1,000 per year for the recipients, open to qualified high school seniors. Okay, age requirements on the other 2, completely free. You could be 102 and apply for continuing ed or vocational technical, and if you win, then you win.
Thank you so much, and for more information, they can call Valley Electric?
They absolutely can, 727-5312.
And you'll make the announcements on the scholarship winners, I believe. What date is that?
They will be announced at the April 30th annual meeting. But I will notify the recipients in advance of that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. This is a wonderful thing. Anyone out there who thinks that they may, and this is for the entire Valley Electric Association service territory, not just in Pahrump. So this goes from Fish Lake Valley all the way down to Sandy Valley, and we have had recipients, winners from Beatty and Amargosa, and everyone is eligible. And this is really a good program. And if by chance you don't have access to the internet, you can pick up a paper application at any Valley Electric location.
And that's it for this edition of News 46 News and Review. This weekend's events include the Spring Fling Cowboy Thing at the Pahrump Nugget Saturday at 7 p.m., the Pahrump Valley Speedway races at 1 p.m. on Saturday, the book signing at the Bookworm off Highway 372 from 10 to 2 p.m. on Saturday, and of course the Nevada Public Auction Saturday at 800 Margaret Street and Sunday off Meyer and Charleston Park. They both open at 9 a.m. and the auction begins at noon. For more information, you can go to nvpublicauction.com. We'll see you right here on Monday. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Have a great weekend.